in today's lesson, we're going to continue on voice leading arpeggios, but this time for a minor 2-5-1, and we're going to do some fancy extensions with them as well. Hi, my name's Mike. I teach guitar here at the Jazz Music Institute. Here at JMI, we try and create a world where everyone can play jazz. So we're going to look at minor 2-5-1s. So that's D, in this case, is D minor 7 flat 5, G7, and then we'll make it C minor 7. And so we're going to keep it in the position, in this position just here, like we did in the first video with C major. So now we need to get those, first of all, get those arpeggios under our fingers for the D minor 7 flat 5, which is a 2 for a 2-5-1 in C minor. So we're going to play. And you can actually, once you play these arpeggios enough, you can actually see these intervals. For instance, we played D minor 7 earlier. Now we're playing D minor 7, but we're just flattening the 5th. So it's D minor 7 flat 5. Then we've got G7. We'll use just normal G7 for the moment, which we should know pretty well. And then we'll use C minor 7, which for the 1 chord. So as always, first off, just know these shapes really, really, really well. That's the first thing we want. Just be able to get up and down them comfortably. Okay, and then we can start introducing the voice leading exercise, which I did in a previous video, where we talk about we're playing 1 bar of D minor 7 flat 5, 1 bar of G7, and 2 bars of C minor 7. And what we're going to do, we're just going to play the arpeggios up and down and only change direction once we run out of room on the guitar, just in this one position. So here's D minor 7 flat 5. We're starting on the lowest note and we're ascending. That's 1 bar of 8th notes, and then G7, and then C minor 7. Okay, so I'll do that one again. G7, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we can go through all the combinations. So what we do, we get an understanding of how each interval of each arpeggio relates to the next arpeggio that we're moving to. So D minor 7 flat 5, G7, C minor 7. Okay. So we can go through and pick any note. I like to do them all and make sure that I do them ascending and descending, if you can, on any note from this D minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. So I'll give you a couple more examples. G7, C minor 7. And now what I might do is, well, once you've gone through and done all of those, it might be worth just see if you can continue running 8th notes and just grabbing the next available note without changing the direction of the line. So we're going to play that progression a few times and continue through. D minor 7, G7, C C minor 7 for 2 bars. D minor 7, flat 5, G7, C minor 7. So that way we get pretty much every possible voice leading combination of how these arpeggios relate to each other. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, a minor 2-5-1, so 2 minor 7 flat 5, 5 7, 1 minor. But what we're going to do, we're going to dress up these chords a little bit. Like we did in the previous video, we're going to play some extensions on these chords as opposed to, you know, just playing the arpeggios, the root 1, 3, 5, 7 up and down. So for the first one, and this is cool, what we're going to do, we're going to play a D minor 11 with a flat 5th. There's actually no third in this arpeggio. So instead of the minor third for the minor 7 flat 5 chord, we're going to actually play the 4th here and there as well. Now there's a reason for this, which I'll explain in a little bit. But what I would like you to do is, there's a few different ways you could think about this. You could think about it as an F minor 6 9 arpeggio, but without an F in it. And it's just got that beautiful sound. You could also think of it as a B flat 13 arpeggio if you wanted to as well, with no B flats in there. But at the moment, we're kind of thinking it in terms of the minor 7 flat 5, except we're using that note, the G, instead of the F in both octaves. So that's the first finger. A little bit fiddly, but once you get the hang of it, it's a really great sound to get under your fingers. Now, so that's for the D minor 7 flat 5. We're essentially implying a D minor 11 with a flattened 5th. Now, next for the G7, we're going to go for a G7 altered sound. And we're going to use this arpeggio. Which is, what is that? That is I guess that's a G7 with a sharp 9 into the natural 9, the sharp 5, and the flat 7. So very much an altered sound, all those beautiful altered colors. Now, the reason why, another way you could think of that as a G7 altered scale, if you like, or G7 altered arpeggio, I should say. Or you could think of it as A flat minor 6-9 arpeggio as well. So just to recap, we had D minor 7 flat 5, which we were essentially superimposing an F minor 6, F minor 6-9 arpeggio over the top. And then for the G7, an A flat minor 6-9 arpeggio over the top. And then we're going to play, that's for the 5 chord, then for the 1 chord, we're going to play C minor 6-9. So I'll walk you through those again. D minor 11 flat 5, G7 altered, and C minor 6-9. So another way of thinking of it would just be straight up minor 6-9 arpeggios. So F minor 6-9, A flat minor 6-9, C minor 6-9. So we've got those three three similar arpeggios, just in different keys. So you get this, I like to say, a parallel sound, if you like, of not just basic 2-5-1, but also this sort of vibe where F minor 6-9, A flat minor 6-9 or G7 altered, and then C minor 6-9. So see how we've got this parallel sound, which is still spelling out a 2-5-1. Okay, and so what's cool about that is there's sort of a plurality to what I'm playing, a duality, if you will. So we've got the sound of those minor 6-9 arpeggios moving in a certain way, or a 2-5-1, both happening at the same time. So then we can do the same thing, but just with the voice leading exercise that we were doing earlier. So running eighth notes for a bar over the D minor 7 flat 5, we're going to play D minor 11 flat 5. Now here's the G7, we're going to play G7 altered or A flat minor 6-9, and then C minor 6-9. So that becomes the first little piece of music that we can play. G7, C minor, 6-9. Now I'm going to do the same thing, starting on the second available note, and we're going to go descending, well, until we run out of room. Very similar to the last one. That's a nice one, I like that one. And I'll do one more. Okay, maybe one up here. Had to think about that one. Okay, so you can go through just with those arpeggios, voice leading them that way, and then you'll get those really, really beautiful sounds, which also that parallel minor 6-9 thing that we were talking about kind of implied, but still very much over a 2-5-1, some sort of minor 2-5-1. Now, one more thing I'd like to say is that with this kind of exercise, you can turn it into a technical exercise as well. You don't just have to play eighth notes. Perhaps you could play it as triplets, for instance. So I'm going to play a bar of eighth note triplets on each chord. So that would be, hopefully, 2, 3, 4. Right, I'll try another one. One more. Hang on. One more. What I'd like to say about this, again, this is a great way to work on your technique, both your technical facility and your mental facility in terms of how these notes and extensions are relating to each other and how to really, really spell out these chords. I would like to say, though, that obviously you're not going to take an improvised solo where you're just going to go up and down these arpeggios. This is something that you do just to really get an understanding of the instrument and get an idea of how these arpeggios relate to each other so you can move freely within them. So, for instance, having played those arpeggios just a little bit right now, sort of just grabbing those shapes as I wish, because I really like that sound. So that's a really strong sound. So one more example. Do that one more time. Thanks so much. See you next time.